This is CBC News. I'm Dwight Smith. The man who gave his name to the Juno Awards is dead. Pierre Junot was an early champion of Canadian content as head of the CRTC and the CBC. Junot's long career fighting for Canadian artists began when he joined the National Film Board in 1949. In 1968, Pierre Junot named Junot the first president of the newly created CRTC, where he mandated Canadian music content on radio. The beneficiaries of that policy was Randy Bachman, formerly of Bachman Turner Overdrive, and now host of Randy Bachman's Vinyl Town.
Before Canadian content was regulated for radio stations, it was not easy to get a record played when you're a Canadian band. Your odds were 1 in millions. And once the CAN Club came in, the chances go down to 1 in a million or 1 in 100,000. And then when you know you have a chance, that you can compete. Other than that, it's like, why should we even bother?
That's Randy Bachman. Pierre Junot went on to become the president of the CBC. He was 89 when he died. Veteran Affairs Minister Stephen Blaney says he'll do what it takes to help former members of the military. Yesterday, the Veterans Ombudsman complained that veterans are often turned down for benefits with little or no explanation. Blaney spoke this morning in Winnipeg.
Much of what is needed to make these improvements simply involves returning to the basics. That will be our mantra as we overhaul our Veterans Affairs work, put in place updated and more efficient technology, and make bureaucratic delays behind.
Blaney wants to make things clearer for veterans in the issue of disability benefits. Negotiations are ongoing as the International Committee of the Red Cross attempts to broker a ceasefire in Syria between the government of Bashar al-Assad and the rebels. Now Assad's bloody crackdown continues. The Red Cross says it wants to help those in need. Bijan Famudi is with the ICRC in Geneva. He says it's not only the sick and wounded who need help.
People who are on the run from fighting of any kind, they need to live as well. They need to survive. They need food. They need shelter. There's all sorts of needs that are urgent just now.
There are about 30 Red Cross workers currently working in Syria. In a bid to protect the oil sands, Canada is threatening to take the European Union to the World Trade Organization. The threat comes from Canada's ambassador to the EU, and it comes as the EU prepares to vote on a directive that criticizes the oil sands for having a carbon footprint substantially larger than conventional oil producers. Alberta is concerned that the EU directive could serve as a precedent for other countries or regions to cut back on their business with Alberta producers. Human Resources Minister Diane Finley took the government's controversial plan for changes in retirement income on the road today. Finley told a Toronto business audience that the government must wrestle down the costs of the old age security program because of the number of baby boomers who will be retiring in the coming years. Louise Elliott reports.
Finley directed her remarks toward young people in the audience, arguing it's unfair to saddle today's youth with an outdated system.
And it's the next generations of Canadians who will have to shoulder the burden. The next generations who will have their own families to raise, their own mortgages to pay, their student and household debt.
The government is trying to recapture the messaging on this issue after a public backlash in January. That's when it acknowledged it was considering raising the age for OAS from 65 to 67. Simply reiterated that any changes won't affect those currently on OAS or those nearing retirement. But will that message work? Not among the older population, says Susan James. She's the Vice President of Advocacy for CARP, the Canadian Association for the 50-plus.
Our members are not interested in those talking points. They don't accept them. They don't accept the premise.
Still, Finley's speech today suggests the government feels it can't convince Canadians the overall retirement age is already going up, and so to the age for receiving this particular social benefit. Louise Elliott, CBC News, Ottawa.
And that's the CBC News to this hour. I'm Dwight Smith.
Here is the weather forecast for the London region tonight. Cloudy skies. There's a 40% chance of showers this evening and overnight. Gusty southwest winds, below near 1 degree. For Wednesday, a mix of sun and cloud, the high near 3. And for Melville and Kingston tonight, cloudy skies, periods of rain mixed with snow, the temperature steady near 2 degrees. For Wednesday, cloudy, a 40% chance of showers in the morning, the high near 4.